What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 7 of the Protege, where we are going to get into Challenge 4. And I have to tell you, I am really proud of everybody who participated this week. They did a fantastic job. So much so that I'm not eliminating anybody. I'm going to get rid of the suspense up front so that you can focus on the meat, because these people are here to teach you a lot. I gotta tell you, it is very gratifying as the coach and the leader of this ridiculous project to see when people begin to take all of the challenges they've worked on to this point and have them work in concert with each other. That's not an accident. It's not an accident how we set the show up, and I love seeing the finished product that's been put out this week, because it tells me that literally I've got 12 people who get it. I can't wait to hear what you have to say. Make sure you tell everybody who your favorite is in the comments. Come on, people. You're not dead out there. We have all kinds of comments open and waiting for you to leave and to let us know what you think, what you've learned, what your criticism would be, but most importantly, just let us know you're watching. Till next time, kill or be killed. All right, everybody, here we go. Challenge number 4. So far, you've identified your target markets, you identified your digital strategy at a high level, and you had a trade show come to your area and you prepared your marketing for that. To this point, it's been somewhat simple. Some of you chose to take it seriously and go to a completely different level. Others just answered the challenge as it was asked. That's how it works in the insurance world. The agents who win go to another level. The agents who do just what's asked of them, well, they're the ones who lose to the other people. So here's where we lose half of you. You have an 8.5 by 11 marketing slick. You can use one side, you can use both sides. But on that slick, you need to boil down your value proposition to one. You don't have to do all three. To one of your target markets. Boil down what you bring to the table that makes you the logical selection for every company in that vertical market. If you're successful, this is something that will help you for years to come in your career. If you're not, the good news is you're going to get feedback to tweak it, and it should work out for you well in the end too. Good luck, everybody. Look forward to seeing your results. This is one of my favorites.
What's great about this marketing slick is this picture. I've set it up now where I can move this picture in and out for any other company that I market to, change their mod score, drop in their logo for their company, and also insert my own QR code so they can go out and get more information. In the future, instead of scanning this QR code and they get the benchmark industry report, in addition to that, I also want to do a video where I'm talking over that industry report. So that will be some more things, added bonuses I'll put in there for the future. I felt like this week I was going to be kind of outgunned because a lot of the other people on my team were sending their marketing slicks to Fiverr, an outside company, to create it for them. But I really wanted to immerse myself in this marketing slick so that I knew how to manipulate it when I needed to. And who knows, in the future, I may totally revamp this or do something different. But for now, this felt comfortable. And of course, it felt a lot less busy than the one I showed you prior here, which was, all over the map. It was cramming 50 pounds into a 20-pound bag. So I feel better about this slick now. It's not perfect, but like you said, it's a start, and it's in my video that I drop off to my ideal prospect. And just to show you on the backside too, as well, here is the industry report, which I've customized for Webco on the back of the marketing slick, so that they see that I've really invested the time to try to get to know their company and tell them what are the three most, as you can see, I kind of have a theme, right? Three most important things that they can do now to have a marketing advantage in the marketplace.
Really happy with how your things turned out. Now, I didn't watch videos on anybody this week. I made the decision that I was just going to go in and look at their flyer because I wanted to find out if it did what it was supposed to do. And that's tell me what your value proposition is and make you different. I don't need you explaining it to me on video. I need you to show me on the flyer so that I know that it accomplishes what it's supposed to. You know, I'm going to give you your negative first because there's really only a little bit negative that I can say about this. And it's not really negative. Let's call it constructive criticism. It's busy. Okay, so I can't get it in my head. I don't know if it's like the colors with the red and the blue. I don't know if you know this or not, but the rods and cones in your eyes don't have the ability to process reds and blues at the same time. That's why when you look at things that are red and blue, it almost has like a flashing effect where it's jumping at you. Don't ask me why I know that. A little bit of worthless knowledge for you. I'm sure you can use later in life. But once you get past that part, and it's not terrible, so please don't take it that way. But once you get past the busyness of it, the content's fantastic. I love the fact that you individualized it. I love the fact that you put the mod on there. I love the fact that you talk about what risksucks.com can help. I'm not in love with the risksucks.com name. I think you probably have some people that would get offended by the name. I didn't say I was offended. I'm just not in love with it. Like what you talk about when you go through there, how a mod score above 1 indicates you're paying more. Paying more in big red letters. You can actively control big red letters. You can reduce expenses. Really like that. So that's going to get their attention. I like the QR code for the complimentary industry benchmarking report. And I also like the 4-step process. Anyhow, overall, good job, man. Really happy with what it looks like. More happy with the content. Keep plugging.
How do you articulate value proposition on an 8 by 11.5 flyer, right? That's when it's just going to be somebody reading it. You may not have the opportunity to talk to them. You're just going to be maybe handing it to a secretary or an admin that's going to get it to the person that you're trying to get to, or maybe it just gets sent in the mail. So that was the first question when you brought this challenge up was, okay, how to articulate that in a flyer so that someone reads it and gets the impact that I would have if I was delivering it to them myself. And that's where I kind of came up with the template that I'll use across the niches that I have, and I'll swap it out. But these two will most kind of stay the same, but the need that I will address for each niche, then the process and how that process kind of speaks to that need, and then what the results they'll get. That's where I kind of hung out with trying to understand my value proposition is how do I stand out from any agent who just wants to go in and quote a church, try to give them the best price, maybe cut coverages or do whatever they can to just beat that number and walk away with it. How do I show more value than just price based? There's no real value in that. And so wrapping my head around it, I really thought, okay, the things that we do really well, we do training really well. We go in and we can speak to gaps in a policy that we can find, that we can show them and create a process to meet those gaps. Maybe it's not just coverages. Maybe there are policies and procedures that we can implement at the church that'll go above and beyond from a proactive risk management strategy to address those gaps that they have on the forefront. They don't have to worry about a claim or coverage that speaks to it because they're on the front end protecting themselves. And so there's value there, especially in the training space, and because of the amount of abuse that happens within the church walls, whether it's pastors or teachers, or a lot of it too is just child on child abuse. And so trying to draw attention to that, even from a large church national perspective, and then hopefully they see that, and that kind of draws them to start thinking about their small world, their church themselves, and go, man, this is an issue. How do I address it? I need help addressing it. who can I turn to? And then immediately we're there to say, hey, I can help with that. We've got a process that already speaks to that. We've got a process that we can already customize and implement for you, and then to show them what those results look like.
You nailed it, brother. You did a really good job, man. If I were to give you some constructive criticism, I would tell you that I feel like the flyer is just a hair too busy. There's a lot of stuff crammed in there. I know you want to get everything out so everybody can see it. So I don't know what the solution to that is, because it's good information on there. I just worry at first glance whether or not somebody's going to really take the time to read everything on there based off of it. So starting with the hook on the front with the large number of $500,000 is good. Like the stats that are on there and talking about something that people are probably uncomfortable talking about but realize exists in terms of abuse claims. So great job with that. Really like the quote on the back. You are the only person so far, and I'm going alphabetical, whose QR code actually went to a dedicated landing page. So you get major bonus points for that. Where I mark you off is I would have liked to have seen a lot more on that landing page when I get there. So I appreciate the customized video right out of my playbook. I would do that 100% of the time, but I would have a little more information on there, some educational resources, possibly some things they could download so that you can just really start to get them to consume your content. And none of that was there. There was a get a quote button for the agency, but nothing specific to your program. So I would flesh that out a little bit more. And the other thing is, in watching your video, you were talking about following up and you'd like to schedule time and all of that. There is a 1,000% chance that I would have my calendar link embedded into that landing page so that they had the ability to go in and schedule time with me proactively. I feel like if you had that on there, you'd probably have people booking time with you. So it doesn't cost anything to put it on there. It's not any extra. It just means that maybe somebody will book an appointment with you if it's there. And I can tell you this, if it's not, there's a 100% chance nobody will book an appointment with you. So I would look at doing some of that. Really focus on building out the landing page. Now, I'm not marking you off for that in terms of Protege purposes, because you did what I asked you to do, man. You put together a slick. That's all I wanted. So great job with that. That tells the story, tells me everything I need to know. And, it leads me to where I want to be. But for the real world, you really got to build that landing page out to another level so that you can make it work for you. And more importantly, you can monitor it, measure it, and you can make pivots when you need to over the course of your marketing campaign for this vertical. And I would do it for each one of your verticals and have a unique landing page for each. Great job, man. I can tell you I'm halfway through and you are top dog right now.
How I came up with this question was the pie chart that you're seeing, or that you see down here at the bottom by the mod that's pointing the 1.29 out. I pulled this and was able to get this from the Indiana Compensation Rating Bureau. They put one out yearly within a article, shows things to expect in the 2021, 2022 year, rates. Here's where we're at, what rates looked like last year, what mods looked like last year, broken down per class code. And then this pie chart gets spit out that shows the those with work comp mods in the state of Indiana of all HVAC contractors. Here is the layout percentages of each one's mod score. So in this case, this is a prospective client, Van Eat Contracting, plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. Their current mod is 1.29. So I wanted to make sure that was popped from the beginning. 1.29. Why do I want them to look at that? Because it shows them that they're in the bottom 15%. Reverts back up to the question, did you know your business is in the bottom 15% of all HVAC contractors in Indiana who have workers' compensation insurance? Pointed to them. This is where you're at. You're at the bottom. We don't like being at the bottom. We're here to help you win. Explain that in the next graphic below here. But down here, I love this graphic. If I zoom in a little bit, it shows 1.0 or higher experience mod equals less profitability. Obviously, we know that. But again, throwing one more thing at them to show they're losing money, throwing money out of their pockets because they either don't have the protection they need, one, and two, the safety measures, the risk management piece, the total cost of risk isn't being analyzed by an agent that cares about their business and putting money back in their pocket to save them money. And end all be all, we're all happy, we're all go lucky, and everybody's safe, protected. And next thing you know it, Vanny just saying thank you to me because we're able to get his 1.29 mod down to a 1.89 mod by just finding some factors in a simple mod audit.
Good job, man. I really like the overall layout, the coloring. I like the fact that you put the mod on there in the yellow box so that it stands out. I like the fact you used the company name and logo in the marketing piece. I mean, this is straight out of the Extra 2 Minutes, man. I mean, whether you use that for reference or not, I'm telling you, this is exactly what I would have done. So really, really good job. Here's where I'm going to give you constructive criticism. So for purposes of the Protege, you nailed it. You hit your value prop, you told people what makes you different. Everything's great there. Where you need to tweak this to make it work really, really well in the real world is when you scan the QR code, it's literally just you getting some information to have you reach back out. Understand the concept 100,000%, okay? I know you want to get it into the CRM, and that is certainly the right thing. So how you're going about that is not my issue. My issue is you really need video on there, right? So how many people even know what an experience mod is? How do they know what they have to have for you to be able to do that? How do they know how long it's going to take? And then how do they know what the end product is going to look like? If I did this, I would really spend time on that landing page because I feel like you're going to get people to go to it based on the fact that your marketing slick is so good. I feel like you're going to lose them when they get there. And you want to get conversions. So I would have video on there, walking them through the process, explaining it, maybe one video, maybe 3 shorter ones so that they can click through. I would have a download guide, like an ebook on best way to prepare for an experience mod audit, or maybe just a single page that's quick tips in preparing for your experience mod audit or whatever, but you got to let them know what you need. You need the 5 years of loss runs, 5 years of audited payrolls, and all of the things you're going to do. And then I would also do something to set their expectations, right? So if they want it, I would have a way for them to give you that information through that page, whether it's sending you an email and attaching it or whatever else. I would also have your Calendly or whatever link you use for your calendar on there so they could schedule a time to review it. Let them just go ahead and schedule a time to meet. So again, I don't want to beat a dead horse on this because you did a really good job on it, but I know what you're capable of, and I know that this marketing piece is good enough to get them to get to the landing page. I don't want to see you lose people when they get there. Right now, you just replaced Mr. Lyons as the front runner in the competition this week. Mr. Lyons had a great slick. You just trumped him with this one. So really, really good job, man. I really like the work product that I saw this week.
I really think that it does capture what I'm trying to say to a client, because ultimately, yes, long haul, short haul, we do it all, but it's Abby who answers the call. And since I'm branding myself, I looked at all the things that my clients have said about me in the past, and rather than saying prompt, rather than saying that you care, I included the quotes that they've said. So we included same-day service, and you are not just a number, and then experience you can trust. And what I also like about this is that I have the bullet points that when it comes to a specific trucker, I can also tailor these for their specific loads, the coverages that they might need, but also just about their business in general once I look it up either on Facebook or LinkedIn and get a better idea of maybe some of the needs that I can come in and address on the get-go. Of course, we have the QR code, which goes to my landing page, which at the very top has a quote fill-in screen so that it can capture that information immediately. I can reach out to them. And then just in case they don't do that, I still have a call to action here for call today. And when it says Breaker 19's trucking insurance, this is a sample. And what I would do is I would personalize this. So say that I'm reaching out to AJ's Transport. I would say call today for AJ's trucking insurance, or AJ's Transport trucking insurance. It's a mouthful. And so, but ultimately I'm pretty happy with this. It's did everything that I wanted it to do. And I believe I was able to capture what I can do for the client along with who I am for the client, because I think both of those things are very important when it comes to insurance.
Let me tell you something. You did a really, really, really good job on this. And honestly, I could probably get by with just patting you on the back and saying, well done, because it's about absolutely perfect. The only thing that I would recommend to you to do differently is when you send them to that landing page to begin their quote that has information and stuff on you, I would go in, and I'm looking to make sure I'm not screwing up as I tell you this, but I would go in and I would have video on there. You've talked so much about the Abby Answers stuff, and yet you're not really referring to it here on this landing page. So if it were me, I would have something that addresses Abby Answers, your YouTube videos, whatever you're going to do, have it on there and give them the ability to link to that and even ask them to like and subscribe to it. But it'll give people an opportunity to go get educated on who you are without being overwhelmed on that page. That's the only thing I would change. Your coloring was good. Your spacing was good. Love the use of the QR code on the grill of the truck. Had yourself, in there. It was just absolutely exceptional. And you've done a really, really good job. And I got to tell you, it's not lost on me that you were in the middle of the pack for the first little bit, but you never quit. And as far as I can tell, you never got down on yourself. Now, I'm sure you did because people do that. But at the end of the day, you have absolutely nailed the last two of these, and you are moving into a position that I expected you to be in. So if there's any vote of confidence that I can give you, it's that you are finally getting to where I knew you could be from the very beginning, and that's a really good place for you to be right now.
Before I created my value proposition in Marketing Slick, I did some research by speaking with numerous middle market VSCs because I wanted to know what they viewed as their biggest challenges and pain points currently. By describing their pain points and desires on the front page of my Marketing Slick, it helps to demonstrate to my ideal clients that I really know them and can even be the answer to their problems. I thought about their problems, goals, and ideal situations so I could create my value proposition and help them remove those challenges and accomplish their goals. I customized my Marketing Slick by inserting my ideal client's logo. The most common challenges they shared with me were increased insurance premiums, work comp costs, finding and retaining employees, which I will address later, and not having a good safety program, which leads to employee injuries. Lack of training and a method to ensure OSHA compliance can also lead to costly fines. OSHA's max penalty is over $13,000 per violation, and the max penalty for willful and repeated violations is over $136,000 for each violation. In addition, even though they have a dedicated HR person, they believed it would be beneficial to have assistance with HR and compliance. I sparked curiosity in the last line by using the word imagine. On the back side, I provided an overview of the services we provide to solve their challenges and included some statistics. My call to action gives them options to connect with us and lets them know the next steps, and tells them what they can expect to receive, as well as the value of the complimentary information that we'll provide.
So I'm looking at your flyer, and it's really good. I like it. I think you did pretty much everything you could have done to have this thing right. I like the fact you personalized it. I like the fact that you've got the company name on there, their logo, made it about them. I like the coloring. It obviously reflects your brand. The front is the hook. The back end is the what you do to clean and fry, right? So you're going to get their attention with the things on the front. They flip it over and they see what you can do on the back. The one thing I'm going to tell you, and I've given this advice to several people. I'm really, really disappointed that more people didn't pick up on this, but I like the use of the QR code. What I don't like is when it doesn't go to a landing page and it just goes to a website. I think for this to be the most effective marketing piece that it can be, that QR code needs to go to a dedicated landing page for this specific slick in your industry, right? So if you're going to be dealing with the cleaning companies, have a landing page for all cleaning companies and a QR code that sends any of your marketing for that to that landing page. Right now, it just goes to your website and you can check your QR code and you can see how many people have clicked on it and done what they needed to do. But at the end of the day, you don't really know if they got what they needed from you unless they book an appointment or if they learned something. You don't know if they learned anything or whatever else. So I personally would have a landing page with some video content on there, maybe another download, in addition to the factory offering them the mod audit and all of that. But that's the one tweak you need to make. Very good job. This will definitely play in the real world as is. I would just make the landing page tweak because it'll make your marketing more effective for you when you can intelligently determine where you need to pivot over the course of the campaign. Man, what a great week on the Protege. I can't tell you how pumped I am to see the progress that every single one of these people has made over the course of the last several challenges. Everybody did a really, really good job and certainly put forth 100% of their effort, but I'm not doing my job if I don't give them some constructive criticism for how this stuff needs to work in the real world. Now, there are some specific things that I've been looking for as I go through these challenges, and now's the time when we talk about them. The first problem that I had was several people just did not understand that this was a week to talk about your value proposition. I wanted the flyer to encapsulate what makes you different, what makes you uncommon in a common environment. And what I got was a subset of people who basically gave me advertisements for insurance agencies, and that's not what I want. 15 people can go call on these people. We're all agencies. What makes you different? That's what you need to do in your marketing messaging, and I wanted to see that. I wanted to find out what about your process makes you unique, what makes you different. I don't care what coverage your agency can write. And so there were a few things that really stood out to me. One of them was Jonathan Lugo. Now, I wasn't happy with Jonathan's overall performance this week, but I really liked his graphic. I liked his call to action, and I liked really the fact that he had a statistic on there that would be eye-grabbing. And he would get people drawn in with that, but I feel like he lost them because he didn't really get into the value that his firm drives. And I had the same thing with several other people, but here's what I liked a lot. I liked the people using QR codes. I love the fact that the marketing slicks were personalized. I love the fact that they used some of their own results, i.e. experience modification factors. I love the calls to action. Karen Seifert did a great job of offering a mod analysis, but not just offering the mod analysis, putting a value to that so that the person requesting it knew that it was worth $2,500. That's what her agency would typically charge. I love the fact that a good number of the people who had QR codes went to a dedicated landing page as opposed to their main agency page. And to me, that's what your call to action is. Get the QR code on there or get an offer that requires them to scan the QR code and then get them to your landing page and work your magic. Have video on there, have educational resources, have another download or two that are on there, and you'll really see results that way. It's also important because if they don't click on the QR code to go to that page, how are you measuring the effectiveness of your marketing other than, well, we wrote some business from it? You want to be able to measure these campaigns, and having individual landing pages is a great way for you to do that. I would have one for each brand and each QR code so that they were each talking to their own individual landing page. I would have a calendar embed on there so that it could be easy for a client to schedule time with you if they wanted to do that right out of the box. I gave Mitch Gibson feedback. He had a great landing page idea in the fact that he actually took you to one, but then when you got there, it was sign up for a free mod, and I wanted to know what he was doing to set expectations for people. The average person out there has never been through a mod audit. We need to educate them. Say, here's what the process looks like, here's how long it takes, here's what I need from you, and here's what you could potentially save or the monetary value to you for investing your time to get me the information and go through this process. There has to be something in it for them or the whole thing doesn't work. Overall, I'm not cutting anybody this week because I'm literally sitting on the edge of my seat waiting to see how they're going to come down the line. Challenge 5 is right around the corner, and if it's as close as what Challenge 4 has been, I may not cut anybody next week. I may just go ahead and cut 7 people at the end. I don't know, but I get to make the rules, so we'll see what happens. I really appreciate everybody watching. I hope you've liked. I hope you've subscribed. I really want you to interact and give us comments and make this thing fun. And if you feel so inclined and you've learned something from it, please share it to your social channels. We're just trying to help the industry get better at what they do. None of these people are being paid. I'm not being paid. This is just a way for us to have a fun time giving back to the industry that's given each of us so much. Until next time, kill or be killed. On next week's episode of The Protege.
So what's the solution that I want to drive them to?
Creativity is the biggest thing.
Honestly, this challenge had me wondering.
I felt like I was off on what I was trying to get to.